Hey there, this is Jordan Luker. Welcome to 3D Printing in Canada. So, firstly, I wanted to go over what 3D printing is. This is all from Encyclopedia Britannica. It's the fabrication of 3D objects by layering two-dimensional cross sections together, fusing of ink or toner onto paper in a printer, usually fine plastic or metal powder, and it allows designers to sometimes create very complex parts. And it's really developed over the past few years, additive manufacturing to homes and businesses as well. So, looking at highly skilled professionals who need to use 3D printing, I chose CAD Engineer, and CAD is basically one of the software 3D printers use. This all information is from Indeed.com or Glassdoor. And a highly skilled professional whose job entails using computer aided design software, that's a CAD engineer, excuse me. Responsibilities include designing project frameworks, producing detailed construction plans, and collaborating with industrial and packaging engineers. The salary is around 98 to 160,000 a year. However, the career path involves bachelor's degree, work experience. You probably won't start off right away as a CAD engineer, and finally, you need AutoCAD certification as well as some other certifications. So, some applications of 3D printing that I was looking up. Aviation is one of them. 3D printing can basically print aviation parts now that are just as reliable as the ones produced by machines. They've tested it out. Biologically, you have the ability now to produce ears from 3D printing or skin from body parts. And yeah, it might feel weird, but if you want a hand, they could 3D print hands now that work with your nerves. And obviously, homes, home improvement, home parts, you can use 3D printing now. I believe they're using it for plumbing, even window repair sometimes, and door repair, and just house repair in general. So, looking at a SWOT analysis, I chose Zometry, which is a 3D printing company. Some strengths: strong brand recognition, technological edge, diverse service offerings, large supplier network. Some weaknesses: dependency on suppliers, price sensitivity, and limited control over product quality. Some opportunities: market expansion, technological advancements, sustainability trends, and acquisition opportunities. Some threats: rising competition from other 3D printing companies, economic uncertainty. This really isn't an industry that's safe from recessions. And finally, regulation challenges of 3D printing. So, some barriers to the adoption of 3D printing: low production rates, low precision sometimes for the less advanced 3D printing machines. But this doesn't mean that it is definitely more accessible to the public than ever before. And that gets into my thing about cost of maintaining, also from Encyclopedia Britannica. It's very expensive sometimes to maintain. However, it is getting cheaper to where an average person can actually use the 3D printer. There are centers now, even one at App State, where you can use one. Severely limited in what materials can be processed and the size of parts that can be made. So, how is it being used today? 3D printing in Canada specifically is being used to print biological parts in the medical field, UNSDG 3, and sustainable and affording housing through the use of 3D printing. That all relates to UNSDG 11. So, getting into two truths and a lie: 3D printing is very limited in what materials it can produce. 3D printing is still very inaccessible to the public, or 3D printing can now be used to print body parts in circumstances. The lie number two: 3D printing has become more accessible to the public over time, and you can use some even public spaces now for 3D printing. All right, thanks for listening, folks.